All right, here we go again. So I was able to get the Trader Joe chips. They're delicious. On 35 milligrams of sodium per serving. My healthiest chips on the planet. There aren't no salt. There are no salt ones. But, veggie chips. So I've been kind of misspeaking, but it might be a psychic misspeak. If inflation is reversing, if a recession, or if, I'm not saying recession, but the economy can be recessing without a recession. But if it's recessing, recession is possible. So I've been calling the tariff rebate checks stimulus checks. So two birds with one stone. But I don't know. You know, again, a lot of mixed signals in the economy still. Right. And we're heading into the buy or die season. Right. So I don't know, the holiday season there. It might carry us through to inventory month. Right. And then start slowing down. Right. Well, if the signs are that the economy is recessing, then we need to get the rebate checks out there. Right. And then they'll act as a stimulus check. Thank you, Larry. But I've been calling them stimulus checks. So, I mean, that's a good sign that that's what they're going to be, but I don't know. I can't definitively say that we need a stimulus check. Right. Because, again, a stimulus check at the wrong time can cause an issue. Right. And again, trying to get the interest rates down. If you stimulate the economy, the interest rates probably won't come down. Right. I don't know. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. The only thing is, it'd be nice to have lower interest rates. So I was reading somewhere where I guess the mortgage rates are coming down, even though, you know, the Fed hasn't dropped the interest rate. I don't know if that's everywhere or specifically some type of mortgage. But again, you know, when something slows down, the interest rate is important for refinancing things and trying to make it through a slow period so they don't have to bankrupt, you know, right? When the interest rates are up, they just can't afford it. And sometimes they can't get the loan they want. I grabbed some money just to get forward and buy some furniture, extra furniture here. Pretty soon I have to go back to my storage unit and start pulling out what furniture I have in there. Right. Got a lot of empty bins in there, and I got some cabinets I got to put together here. I should be able to get everything out of those bins and throw away what I don't need over the next 6 months. And because again, I don't have a dumpster. I wish I could have thrown it away when I had a dumpster. I did pretty good before I left. I threw away a lot of useless stuff. So that's just based upon, you know, I don't know what's being seen inside the administration, but if there's signs that a recessing economy could occur, then you got to launch that those rebate checks. Right. And then we need to be reason. One of the reasons, again, it's kind of like intuitive. One of the reasons we need to beef up, and again, the presence on the Pacific side isn't as prolific, obviously. We got to do something because you have to give them that boxed in feeling. Right. We need something south too, but we need something south landmass. El Salvador is north, right? Well, south of Mexico, though. So, right. Well, Ecuador and I guess the two allies, or two best allies. Guatemala can be an ally too. I don't know where we are with them, but El Salvador and Ecuador need to be ready for people to try to move through their countries if they try to, well, no, we want to catch people. We don't want them to just flee to another nation. Right. So if they start going south, they need to. I'm trying to get a map here. Let me get to a map. Okay. Central and South America here. All right, so here we go. Look at this thing. All right, so all right, where are we at here? Let's go bigger. Okay. Well, we're not doing too good with Brazil. I wish we could have been friendlier with Brazil there. That'd be nice to have them online. We got Ecuador. I don't know what Peru is starting to pick up. Let me see relations with Peru. Well, we need to try to work on Brazil. We really do need them in. I don't know how they feel about narcos. Right. Security sector. I think they're moving because they want to eliminate anything, right? Because of the shining path. We need to reconnect with Peru if we're not connected. We need nations to the south in South America. I mean, we have Argentina. So Argentina needs to be pulled in, right? I don't know where Chile is. Bolivia, their coca production, right? But Peru and Ecuador, I think we can pull in. Brazil's a big one. I wish we had better relations. Let's see, Brazil as far as they are fighting their narcos in this where they take over the slums. I can learn. You just read Soldier of Fortune, You get all the information. Right. All the different units fighting whatever they were fighting. Brazil. All right, the beetle politics. Okay, so yeah, they're pretty much annihilating them when they can. Well, we need to touch base with Brazil. We have a common interest in eradicating the narcos. Right. So we do need to send somebody down there that can talk to them. Right. I know there's a political divide, but I mean, you got to put that aside. And again, you might score some points with Brazil if you know. Right. We need Brazil. Brazil probably as far as what they call sovereignty would have a little bit of issue with what's going on, but as far as again, asking them to help, for once and for all, at least again, narcotics could be with us for a long time, but what's going on now is unacceptable, and as long as we can reduce it to something more manageable, we're losing entire generations of people, really, right, across the globe. So we need to look at the other nations. That, I know Ecuador is helping us. I know whatchamajigger. Peru is on board too. Ecuador and Peru are working in tandem. Guyana is with us. I don't know what Bolivia is doing because they're big coca people, and then Argentina down here, so that's a stronghold. So Bolivia. Okay, so you just got into Bolivia, right? Yeah, we got to reconnect. Well, this is going to be more of a military battle. I mean, we were waging some military battle, but I think in the long run, this is just it. Right? It can't continue. And of course, Brazil is already way past where we are. they're actually on Trump's wavelength. They need to be killed. Right. And again, I think that's Mexico. The president's talking about this law enforcement and the law. She is way off base, and she might know it. She might be working for them. I don't know, but that's a war. She's involved in. She has a revolution, a civil war going on. Right. But it's not just one entity; it's multiple entities. That's not law enforcement. What's going on there is a war. Right. You don't wait to take those people to court. Right. If if there is a by happenstance they surrender, then yeah, you can take them to court. But if they don't surrender, forget it. Just kill them. Right. I mean, you are doing some of that, but it's not enough. Right. Well, you need to launch military operations, and when it's all said and done, and there's some people left, then you can take them to court. I agree. No, real military operation. Right. Missiles, tanks. Right. I don't know what they have down there, but I mean, it's atrocious what happened to the Iraqi forces that fought with us when ISIS went through and we didn't stop them. That it's just as bad down there in Mexico. Right. Thank you, Larry. I'd have sent every bomber, fighter, and everything else over to Iraq to stop ISIS before they would have ever taken any more real estate. Once we knew that's what they were doing, right? To protect all those Iraqis that fought with us, right? Agree. It was absolutely worse than Black Hawk Down and the other things. Right, whatever that thing was, Benghazi. Right. Just let them be executed like that. And all that training and money that we spent to make them somebody. Right. All right, I think we can deal with Brazil. It looks like they're ready to fight the narcos. Well, they might go into Mexico with us. That's the source of their problems, probably part of it, right? Go into Colombia with us. Right, see? Let's get a coalition together. It always works better. Well, and that's the point. We'd rather use Central American and South American forces with our forces, and then, at a certain point, we pull out early, and then they stay and they finish the job and call us up if they need us. We'll leave, spec ops and trainers and all that, which I helped you develop the last go around. Right. You just can't stay too long. Once you, and the collateral damage is, all that collateral damage from in Iraq, all that collateral damage in Afghanistan, that ruined it. And you stayed for so many freaking years. That's why I got back into it. One of the reasons I'm like, what are they still doing there? What the hell are they doing? Right. And then when you needed to return, you didn't return. You let them all be killed. Right. I don't know. Brazil might feel friendly to Venezuela somewhat. I don't. Again, it's a strange world. Right. Yeah, their cops will summarily execute somebody that's trying to rip off a store with a gun. I just videos of them just shooting through the glass. They don't even go into the store. Right. So, I mean, you got to go to the source of the narcotics and eradicate it, or it's not going to work. Got to end. You can't play the game. Right. Now they're finding subs going out to Australia and New Zealand. Right. Or additional subs. Right. I wonder how many of them got lost at sea. You know what I mean? It can't be that safe. We have a number. We probably send 10 and like 3 make it. I mean, it's even horrible if they get recruited into that stuff and they're just sitting in a submarine all the way out to freaking Australia or something. Right. So we have to change the paradigm in each nation and rescue future generations. Right. I mean, this is so much that's so much narcotics. You got to get rid of these people. There's no self-control whatsoever. Money grubbers. Never enough. It's a war. There's no law enforcement battle that'll get anywhere there. It's a war. So it just got back in. Yeah. What's he going to say? Return present revenue pause raises. Oh, come on. Okay, so the coca growers are going to rebel against the president. So that would be right if they were to take power, right, and that would be a problem. Right. I understand the culture, and again, the problem is the exportation, and maybe he can explain that to them if they want to. If they have a history of coca and they want to use coca, that's their business. But the exportation, the other nations, right? He has to explain it to them. Either they stop, or we liberate that nation from narcos. Whether they're traditional natives, again, what they do in their country to a certain degree, not completely, but because again, if you're Adolf Hitler, we got to stop you from killing people. But what they do in their country is their business. But if they're exporting, then it's our business. Right. Again, either Paz helps or that's the next nation. Right. And I guess, Brazil has, so Brazil should have a problem with what Bolivia is doing if they're exporting coca. I mean, so they should help us. Right. All right. So again, that just need to explain it to them. They can use it, but they can't export it. If it's some sort of traditional thing that they want to do, we can respect that, but any exportation cannot be accepted. What city is this? Of San Antonio. All right, so if you're, yeah, Homeland Security needs to explain to people the best way you can that they're being targeted, and they have to be extra careful not to fall in. I don't that guy. I thought maybe that he was investigating. There's a possibility that just two entities fighting each other out in an investigation, but he was essentially an auditor or something. Right. So again, he wasn't probably investigating anything. Right. But again, just remind your employees that lapses in their judgment, it's going to be more prevalent in this kind of environment, and they just need to be more careful and not really fall into criminal behavior, because it's just suicide, criminal behavior, all that stuff's going to be increasing when you're. Here's the Miss Piggy thing. When you're hated, right? She's being selfish. That's why he called her Piggy. Right. Correct. See, now this, I don't think this, I might be wrong, but it says secretive Border Patrol program is detaining U.S. citizens for suspicious travel. It's just like everything else. There's like 50 other things involved in there. If you describe the program, that doesn't describe the program. Right. What's the name? It's just looking at me through this. Well, how do I get back to it? There's no arrows on this thing. Deputy director. Oh, wait, it just went away. Where's she at? Is she in here somewhere? Why should they care they're likely in? Video will play after ad. Or deputy secretary, whatever the thing is. You keep in mind these $100. I don't think anybody's being detained on suspicious patterns, but suspicious patterns and something else. Right. 100%. No, and I don't know what that is for sure because I haven't read it. Yeah, well. Well, if your kids skip school, that's up to them. I mean, and they go back to their country where they came from, where they're supposed to be, and then we could bring the other kids here, who when their parents get a visa, right? Instead of wasting it on people that break laws. So I back in I was still in the Marshal Service. I'm reading newspapers from Virginia, or news articles from Virginia, and I knew what was going to happen. I knew that far back that this was going to happen. Like 2001, I was reading. I'm like, what are they doing down there in Virginia? Right. 100%. It was lawless. Right. I'd say just get rid of Kilmer Abrego. The best you can. I mean, if he goes to Costa Rica, I give a shit less. I just don't want to see him in the news. Right. I mean, the more you fight it, the less likely you'll be comfortable doing that. Right. You're just wasting a lot of energy. Like this Comey thing. It's probably just going to blow up into shit. Just doesn't make any sense. Well, you should just sit back and let him feel comfortable. That's what you should have done. You probably could have found some other charges that were better. Right. Now he knows to watch his step. 13-year-old girl at Walmart with her mom. Yeah, I got to get my healing stuff together again. I can't see as much right now. All right, so 13-year-old girl at Walmart with her mom shot in the spine by a complete stranger. Oh, he's already been sentenced. Well, you should just say Gitmo. Tell Trump to say Gitmo next time when he speaks about the senators. That's better. They need to. You just say you need a ride on Con Air to Gitmo, right? That way you keep it lawful, right? Thanks. So this Nigerian court sentenced separatist Nnamdi Kanu to life in prison on terrorism. I'd watch that. Right. They might be able to. Right. You might want to. You might want to try to work something there. Just looking at the news here. All right. So again, I think the big focus needs to be where partly what you're doing. You're in Bolivia, right? But we need a Bolivian military. So we need to do some work with the Bolivian military, some training with Bolivian military, so they're ready if something happens. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. We might end up with a serious war down there in Central and South America. I mean, we just got to get rid of these narcos. We can't just sit around let kids get addicted to dope and adults and everybody dying and just have these lost lives. Even people that use it casually, they don't need to. There's actually supplements people could take to feel better. A lot of it's self-medication, right? And you got too much cortisol in their body, all this other junk that's running around and toxins. Right? I mean, unfortunately, they got me and I fell off my regimen, but it works. The regimen I had, and they knew it. That's why they psyoped it. And she goes, well, go to hell. I really care less. You don't want to put them in prison, they'll go to hell. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.